What's up, everybody, and welcome to Candidly Kiko. I'm back with a whole new list of things that are pissing me the fuck off. Like people saying dumbass shit under the guise of free speech, old racist white men, and our political system which continues to fucking feel like Gladiator. Now, I'm sure lots of people have heard their grandparents or someone older in their life say the phrase, "We are living in our last days." Well, I remember when my grandmother used to say that shit, and I would get so upset because first of all, I was fucking 12, and I felt like she was speaking a curse upon my life. I'd be like, damn, I hope my life doesn't end before my fucking track meet on Saturday, or how the hell the world gonna end before I get the fuck yet. And in the words of our dearly departed sister, Amy Winehouse, what kind of fuckery is this? And my grandmother, God rest her soul, would always follow a comment like this with offering me some kind of plate of food. As though jollof rice would make me feel better about the fact that I was about to fucking die at 12. Well, of course I ate the food, because I'm a hungry son of a bitch. But as we was eating, I'd be thinking, yo, grandma is such a fucking hater. Why I gotta be living in my last days? When you were younger and partying and met granddaddy for the first time, we wasn't living in our last days. But now I ain't fuck yet. You wanna put this curse on me? Yo, grandma's a hater, yo. So I'm gonna finish these 3 pots of rice she gave me and never speak to her ass again. Well, God rest my grandmother's soul. And I wish she was alive so I could tell her I know exactly how she felt. I'm grown as fuck now, and it just seems like every day people in this world get dumber and dumber. Not Screech from Saved by the Bell dumb, or Cole from Martin dumb, not even Phoebe from Friends dumb, but dark and dangerous dumb. It seems like technology has only helped create ways for people to be even more evil to each other. If in fact we are living in our last days, I'm grown now, and at least I got to fuck before the world ends. Let's talk about free speech. People say dumb shit under the guise of free speech all the time. That term is thrown around for just about everything, but do you actually know what it really means? According to the Constitution, the First Amendment provides that Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. It protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Someone should probably explain this in better detail to a few folks, including Kanye West, especially since, according to him, he doesn't read. And per usual, his idiocy has been on full display. Per usual, people have lost their minds. This dude went on Alex Jones' show with a black condom on his face as if what he was saying wasn't already ridiculous enough. For those of y'all who may not know who Alex Jones is, I'm gonna give you the cliff notes. He's a dickhead. In addition to providing a platform to white supremacists, his other claim to fame is calling Sandy Hook a hoax perpetrated by the government and then getting sued by the families of the victims and now having to cough up $1.4 billion. And now he's filed for bankruptcy, but he still got a show though. And well, Kanye went on the show with his face condom and continued to give us all more reasons to feel sorry for Kim. Have you ever seen someone perform oral sex on a dead person? Well, that is exactly what Kanye did to Hitler. He started talking all this shit about how he admires Hitler and talks about all the supposed great contributions Hitler made to society. He went on to say he loves everyone and everyone has something to offer the world, except for George Floyd. Right, Kanye? The hilarious part was that Alex Jones' crazy ass tried to give Kanye a chance to denounce anti-Semitism, but instead, this nut decided to double down and give himself a cum facial with Hitler's ashes instead. You know how crazy you have to be for someone like Alex fucking Jones to try to reel you in? The sad part is he continues to fucking gaslight the fuck out of Jewish people, denying details of the Holocaust, praising Hitler, and all the while claiming to be anti-Semitic, and using aggressive contracts and entertainment as a justification for his antics. You cannot judge every Jewish person based on your experiences with the few in entertainment, the same way you cannot judge me based on black people who choose to make ignorant decisions. Isn't that what equality is about? Isn't that what we've been fighting for? To be seen as individuals? Also, there are ways to inspire intelligent dialogue without being hateful, haphazard, and ignorant. You should listen to this part 2, Kyrie. Raving about a man who murdered millions and gushing over that man's supposed contributions to society is a stupid way to start a conversation. But Kanye, you know that. The bigger conversation to be had is how do we discuss the contributions to society of evil men? Men like Thomas Jefferson, Christopher Columbus, and just about all of our American forefathers who created things but also brutalized generations and owned slaves, which we know. Hitler is absolutely evil, but so are the men I just mentioned. They are almost certainly sitting on a barbecue grill in hell right now next to Hitler. My answer would be to treat them like many people treat one-night stands. Thanks, now get the fuck out, and don't call me, and I never fucking want to see you again. Yes, let's learn about them in the context of history, but not make them more prolific than the catastrophes they created. See, Kyrie, it's all about context and asking the right questions, not just recklessly throwing shit out there in the name of free speech. And in case you forgot, this is the type of free speech that isn't protected, isn't what the Constitution is referring to. This type of free speech will have you filing for bankruptcy. Alex Jones. Now let's move on to old racist white men. A few days ago, a picture surfaced of Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. I'm sure you've seen it. It showed a 14-year-old Jones standing in solidarity with other young white men protesting desegregation. LeBron James had something very interesting to say about it. In a post-game interview, he turned the tables on reporters, posing the question of why they repeatedly badgered him about Kyrie Irving, yet asked him nothing about Jerry Jones in this questionable photo. Now, full disclosure, I'm from Philly, so I'm a diehard Eagles fan. So I take personal joy in shitting on anything related to the Cowboys. But I'm going to try to be objective here. For starters, I want to say I'm proud of LeBron for addressing this as someone who was super critical of Kyrie. Because oftentimes in society, we're made to think that only one thing can be true at once. Yes, Kyrie can be wrong for what he did, and yes, the media can also be wrong for not treating both topics equally. LeBron is within his right to have both opinions. But let's dig a little deeper. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. I remember when I was about 10 years old, growing up in Philly. My first cleaning job was at a Catholic church that my mother went to not too far from where I live. I made about $20 a week. And by the way, I was terrible at this job. I would basically just sweep the front and go for a walk for like 30 minutes and come back and collect my money. Anyway, the person who gave me this job was this older black man who worked at the church and was maybe in his 80s at the time. He absolutely despised white people and would tell me so every time I saw him. And at 10, I was so idealistic and would argue with him about how all white people were not that bad, but to no avail. I remember complaining to my mom about this, and she told me that I was wasting my time arguing with him because he had seen racism I would never know, and there was likely no changing his mind. From that point on, I grew to expect or be less surprised when people of a certain age had certain views on racism. Jerry Jones is an 80-year-old white man born in 1942 and spent much of his formative years in Arkansas. Are we really that surprised that this photo exists? I think for many, Kyrie's comments came out of left field, while this photo, in my opinion, should have shocked absolutely no one. The NFL has absolutely no black owners. This same league blackballed Kaepernick, and Jerry Jones himself was not supportive of players being activists. His attitude was very much, shut the fuck up, nigga, and play. And we are surprised by this photo? I wouldn't be shocked if other owners had photos like this in a box in their attic labeled the good old days. Now here's the thing. Many people have done shit in their past that they have regretted and evolved beyond. I certainly have. I'm from Philly and used to have my barber put black paint on my head called the Beijing, and I thought I was fly as fuck. God didn't think so and made me lose my hair, but even in the face of that, I've still evolved. Yes, I'm all for people growing, but they have to demonstrate that they have. In response to LeBron's comments, Jerry said, LeBron has enhanced the game of basketball. He's made a lot of people money. I hope I have too. It's kind of hard to see growth when comments like this make players sound like they are the new slaves. And now for the most important subject, the midterm elections. Congratulations to everyone who survived them. Republicans really fucking believed that black voters would vote for a candidate void of substance simply because they were black. Georgia sent a message that night, loud and fucking clear. Fuck no. We are black, we are brilliant, and we deserve the very fucking best. Thank you, Georgia, and congratulations and much respect to the incumbent senator, my Morehouse brother, Raphael Warnock. And while I'm congratulating motherfuckers, I can't leave out the 4 largest cities in the U.S. will all be led by black mayors. New York, Chicago, Houston, and L.A. Karen Bass became the first woman and certainly the first black woman to become mayor of Los Angeles. And my man, Hakeem Jeffries from BK, has taken Nancy Pelosi's place as the leader of the Democrats. I only wish that before she stepped down, we got to see her punch Trump in the face like she threatened to. But regardless, her contribution to politics and to culture is gargantuan. She's been through a lot fearlessly, and she will be missed. And lastly, the U.S. Senate passed the Respect for Marriage Act, which protects same-sex marriage and interracial marriage. So all the wives and side chicks of the NBA are safe. But seriously, this is great news. Let's take a moment and clap for democracy! And now, let's get into the bad. For starters, how are you in an interracial marriage but voted against the Respect for Marriage Act? I'm talking about you, Mitch McConnell. These Republicans have absolutely no fucking shame. They clearly do not want anyone to enjoy the same rights and freedoms that they do. But unfortunately, these motherfuckers got control of the House by a narrow majority, but they still got it. And instead of talking about legislation that they want to pass, the first thing that they're saying they want to do is investigate Joe Biden and his family. And Marjorie Taylor motherfucking Greene won re-election in Georgia, so we gotta keep talking about her crazy ass for another couple of years. And Ron, I look like I cheated Monopoly, DeSantis, won again in Florida. And is likely running for fucking president. So all of this means we got miles to go before we fucking sleep. And you know how the fuck I know? Our old friend is back. No, not herpes, but yes, Donald Trump is running for president again. This motherfucker is like them zombies in The Walking Dead. You just can't seem to kill this little bitch. And he wants to throw out the Constitution to make room for him and all of his fuckery. But now that all of the candidates that he's backed have lost, he's a cult leader who's lost his cult. And you got Candace, I've never gotten my hair done at a black hair salon, Owens, talking shit about him, and Pence and DeSantis ready to run against his ass. Now this goes without saying. Stay woke and make sure you vote. But am I the only person that can't wait to see these motherfuckers go back and forth in a primary? That shit is gonna be pure comedy. Trump gonna be like to Pence, they should have killed you in the insurrection. Then Pence gonna be like, what insurrection? Then DeSantis is gonna be like, vote for me because I'm not gay. I don't even say the word. And then somewhere Biden is gonna wake up like, wait, the election's tonight? The next few years are gonna be motherfucking comedy. Yes, there's going to be a lot to laugh at over the next few years. But there will also potentially be so much more to cry about. As I mentioned, my grandmother would always say, we are living in our last days. If she were alive today, I'd ask for some more food. But I'd also tell her that we don't have to be living in our last days. So many of us are making conscious choices to not give a fuck about our planet, about each other, and about ourselves. We keep doing this and hoping that despite our negligence, that the world will just keep on turning. Not realizing that it's us that has to make it turn the right way. Being kind, being thoughtful or responsible is not a complicated notion, but our lives become complicated when we ignore our duty to do so. The reality is, in 2022, giving a fuck about someone other than yourself is a foreign concept. And yet, we find it perfectly acceptable to question the occurrences of violence, injustice, and the lack of progress. Yes, we are living in our last days. Well, I hope it's jollof rice in hell.